So a couple of people have seen pictures of my quilts on Facebook and wanted me to do a quick video. So Kathy especially, this is for you. I'm going to show you what I've been doing over the winter. This quilt is machine pieced and hand quilted. Yes, I did hand quilt it. It took about 6 weeks, working a little bit on it every day, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I had originally bought these panels to make pillows out of, but as I started putting the borders on and realized how pretty they were going to be, I thought, oh, this would make a fantastic quilt. So that took up a good bit of the winter, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but for now it's not going on the bed because I have other ones to show you. This one was a very different project for me, and it was a lot of fun. This one is a quilt as you go. And I got the technique from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I watch a lot of quilting videos actually, and I've been quilting probably since about 1996 or so. I'd always been interested in it. My great-grandmother did it, my grandmother did it, and my mother never really got into it, but she worked full-time and had all of us kids to deal with, so. But I've always been interested in it. And one thing that I'm not able to do is do a lot of machine quilting for whole quilts because my machine is a standard machine. I don't have a long arm or anything like that, and so it's kind of difficult. And I do most of mine with hand quilting, but I wanted to be able to finish an entire quilt all on the machine. And this one, I did end up doing a little bit of hand sewing in the joining, but this quilt was really interesting because you have each piece is self-contained. Basically you take the back and the batting and the top, and then you sew that, and once you sew that, even the quilting is done. So this was a good way for me to be able to make a whole quilt on the machine, and I liked it so much that I thought, well, I have a lot of small scraps, so what can I do with those? When the back of this has different colors too, it's not all one color, so it's kind of reversible. But this one I am really proud of, y'all. It came out so pretty. It is done all with my stash fabrics and leftovers and just little bits and bobs that I put in wherever I could. It is a good full size. I might cover a queen bed, I'm not sure. The background on this one is it's all black, so it's not really reversible, but you can see even here I have a little bit different black fabrics in there because those were what I had left over too. And it did use up a ton of scraps. And before I wrap up this part of this video, I just want to show you this. That this is a quilt that my great-grandmother made. I don't know when it was made, but she died in 1988, so it was well before then, I'm sure. I don't know if you can see that stitching or not, but it's tiny. That's something that I aspire to. My stitching is not nearly that neat just yet. But this is definitely one of my treasures. And I just feel so inspired when I look at it. Another thing I've always wanted to do ever since I started quilting is to sew one completely by hand. The piecing, the quilting, everything. So I decided to do another one of these. Yeah, I've lost my mind, but I'll show you what I mean, and I think it'll make sense. Okay, here we are in the danger room of utter chaos, also known as my craft room, and I'm not going to show you the rest of it because, trust me, you don't want to see it. What you are looking at is the pile of pieces for the next hexagon quilt. I do intend to do this all by hand, and I'll show you how the technique works first, and then I'll talk a little bit about my plan for this thing. These are what the pieces look like before they're sewn. It has a front piece and then the batting, and cutting all of those was fun. And then the back is also a hexagon, which is just a little bit bigger. And to sew these, we are folding it over like that, and then like that, and then I'm sewing across and folding and sewing around as I go. And that's what it looks like when it's done. Now these will have, because I'm using scraps and leftover yardage and things like that, these will have different backgrounds, and so the back will be different, and they will be it will be reversible to a point also. But these are all the pieces that I have finished so far. I've been working on them every night when I sit and watch TV, and I can usually finish 15 or so. This is sort of the diagram that I'm using. What it'll be is basically one big circle. If you've ever seen a Boston Commons quilt with the squares, it will be like that, but this will be with hexagons. And I didn't take time to color in everything, but I do have the layout, the way I'm going to put it in order, and it has a little over 4,000 pieces, counting the fronts and the backs, so there will be about 2,000 and something to put together in the end. I told y'all I'd lost my mind, but I'm just super excited about it. I think it's going to be great. So if I can do 10 pieces a day... Oh, did you have something to say about it? If I can do 10 pieces a day, I'll probably finish sometime toward the end of July. So it's definitely not a quilt in a day, more like a quilt in a year. And of course, with spring and summer coming, I will not have as much time in the dark at night to sit and work on them, but I think I can still finish 10 a day. I haven't really thought about the assembly process yet. That's going to be a whole project unto itself, and it'll probably be a good thing if I don't finish until it's cold again, because having that thing on my lap to sew it together is going to be interesting. It'll be bigger than this one, but I think it's going to be a fun project, and I hope I don't burn myself out. We'll see. Anyway, those are my quilts. That's what I've been doing part of the time over the winter, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. You like it, don't you?